equivalent of the Pentagon.
Wow.
But for people watching this right now, your best action is to have money and stability to move forward when this war is happening. So, Charlie Miguel, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We know who you are, but they may not. Go right ahead.
So, yeah, my name is Dollar Cost Crypto. Been in crypto since 2016. Started the Crypto Mindset course in 2020 with Charlie here. And we've been like the largest onboarders of Red Pill men into crypto.
Let's go.
Yeah. And
Woo!
every time we come on here, we want to be... Like we choose specific times in the crypto space. We like coming on here not when the price is at all-time highs. We like coming here when the price is crashing or there's a big opportunity, because that's when you make money. You can't be like a female trying to like wait for the finish line and fuck the winner, because that's not how you make money. You got to take advantage of when there's blood in the streets. I mean, literally, actually.
You know, the funniest thing is every time we launch the Crypto Mindset course, it's a dip in the market.
Yep.
And so we were like, well, to be honest, we were going to launch it last week, but you know, things happen, and then we launched it this week. And the cycle low was already in on the 60-day cycle, aka the Lucas cycles, right?
Yeah.
But then we get a Crypto Mindset course dip, because Israel just says we need that. But it's one of these things where it's hilarious. Like, it's almost like clockwork. Every 3 to 4 months, there's absolutely a huge advantageous dip in crypto to take advantage of. And like, we're back in front of you guys right now. I think the last time we were here, we were like low 90Ks at the end of February, and then price dropped to about $74,000. So it went from like 91,000, let's say, to about 74,000.
I remember it broke like 100K when Trump got sworn in, right around that time, or when he got elected. One of the two. When he after he won the election, or when he got sworn in, it went right up to 100K.
Right, and then BlackRock started selling off the Bitcoin ETF stuff that they had basically accumulated for the 1 year before that, right? And then in January, after the inauguration, plus February, they were selling off over $1 billion in spot Bitcoin ETF stuff. And then they started reaccumulating in March and April. And so we bottomed out during that time when we were in the last Crypto Mindset course, right? And then during the last Crypto Mindset course, I would say the average price of Bitcoin was about $84,000. And then now we're here crashing from 111 or 112,000 all the way down to 106, bro. It's all over. Sorry, it's all going to zero, right? Yeah. But the one thing that I was talking to Myron about before the stream was that BlackRock, for the last 2 to 3 years, Larry Fink specifically, has been going through this process of creating a narrative for Wall Street that says Bitcoin is digital gold, and it's also a hedge against not only inflation, but the volatility of geopolitical situations globally, just like gold is. And so the first half of this year, we had a crazy bull run on gold, right? Now, what Wall Street is doing, and they've said this in multiple different ways, they're shifting that narrative now to Bitcoin.
You know what's crazy? So I was in Vegas for the Bitcoin convention, and I saw a lot of celebrities there. I was like, hold on a second here.
Right.
Whenever celebrities in bulk come to a investment, or I want to say a good like money maker, you know, it's going to go mainstream heavy. Right. So get into it now before it goes fucking fully mainstream, because that's going to be the telltale.
Yeah, as of right now, I looked, Bitcoin sitting at around 106,000.
Yeah.
So,
and technical analysis wise, I threw this in all of our groups that are regular, in terms of like the Citadel is our monthly group. We have the Q1 Crypto Mindset, which was the group that we last enrolled when we were here back in February. And then, you know, what do you call it? One of our higher paid groups. We put in that group today. I said, if the daily close on Bitcoin is green, and I'm looking at the chart right now, the Bitcoin opened up at just under like $105,800, crashed all the way down to 102,800 within the day, and then basically came back up to green. Literally, usually what we want to do when we come here on your guys' stream is that after we finish, you know, enrolling people in the course and getting everybody in, during the webinars, we want the dip to happen. But based on the data that I'm seeing here today, right now is probably closest to the lowest point Bitcoin's going to be for the rest of this year. And I'm thinking Bitcoin, from right now, the price is literally 106 flat. Yep. We're going to go up above 100 and minimum 100, I would say $160,000 by October of this year. And then if global liquidity continues to spill into next year, which it seems like that's what's happening with the M2 money supply.
And interest rate cuts as well.
And interest rate cuts and like any Wall Street hedges against inflation and global volatility are going to be put in Bitcoin. We're going to see pretty much a run here from, I think, today into the end of this year. And then next year, that's the place where, it's value investor territory. Things crash, maybe we get up to 170, maybe we get up to 210, whatever it is, we're going to probably crash 70% from there. But everybody in crypto for
So the ceiling is still high, you're saying?
Right now.
Yeah. So everybody in crypto the last 3 years has been waiting for this 6-month period because that's when shit is crazy and that's when the best profits basically get
Yeah, I mean, it's
made.
amazing to see, right? I remember when it was stabilizing at like 6K in 2018, 2019, and now it's like over 100,000, man. And it's just nuts to see.
$100,000 more expensive than where we were talking about it in our first consultation. Isn't
Do you
that
remember
fucking
when they,
insane?
when they said 100K is going
absolutely
to
nuts.
hit, and everyone said, no, it was never going to hit that. 100K is impossible, and it hit 100K.
No, to give Charlie credit, I'll never forget. You called this in 2020, bro. I remember being on one of the Zoom calls. You're like, we will see $100,000 Bitcoin soon enough.
Yep.
And fast forward 4 years later, Trump wins the election, hit 100,000.
You made a lot of millionaires, bro. Both of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
And
millionaires.
minimum, if you look at Hal Finney's call from back in when Bitcoin was less than a month old, Hal Finney, which was one of the first guys to mine Bitcoin, he basically he's a candidate for potentially Satoshi Nakamoto or the group thereof, and he died of leukemia a while back. But he said basically if Bitcoin, I forget what percentage of it, I think it's like 1 to 10% of the global money supply. If it absorbs that at least, it'll be between $1 to $10 million per coin within the first half of this
What
century.
is it sitting at right now?
$100,006.
No. I mean, like the percentage of the global. You're saying if it hits 1% of the global.
I'd have to go and find that data,
Okay,
but
okay.
basically right now, market cap wise, total crypto market cap is about 3.5 trillion.
Yep.
And gold is 20.
Yeah.
So the
Gold is 20%?
20
trillion.
trillion.
Oh, 20 trillion. Okay.
Bitcoin's
I was going to
2
say
trillion.
what?
So Bitcoin itself
Yeah.
is going to outpace gold according to Wall Street from here on out. And so, and it already has been, of course, but Wall Street's like, okay, well, from when we said it, right? Because they want to be the ones that are winning.
Yeah.
And so they're basically saying from here on out, Bitcoin's going to at least get to that, going to equal gold. Bitcoin itself and the entire crypto market's $3.5 trillion right now. So the entire crypto market has to do about, what, a 5x just to equal gold as the entire market. But Bitcoin itself is going to equal that according to most people on Wall
Gotcha.
Street.
Okay. That's not even including all the other coins.
Right.
Gotcha.
And so Michael Saylor, all these guys are basically saying that, well, yeah, I'm late to the market. I'm buying $100,000 Bitcoin, but I'm actually early because it's going to 1 million. It's going to 10 million. So if you're a person with a lot of money, you're like a 10x, a 100x is amazing on my multi-million-dollar portfolio, right? But somebody who has no money is like, yeah, maybe that's not exactly the life-changing gains I can get from just having $1,000 in the market. But then having that momentum from Bitcoin shift over to the altcoins over that next 10-year period means everybody who can get, rich on Dogecoin, rich on, Sonic or whatever other coin there is, that opportunity is still there. So it's like until probably about, I would say 2033, 2037, everybody can be relatively early to this market. If you're in this market before 2030, you're going to be kicking ass and taking names.
Cooking.
Right? But if you're not in this market until 2033, 2037, by the time we get to 2037, it's a full-blown industry already. We're fucking money managers. And
Regulation is going to be full on. Government's going to have control of it to a significant degree versus like now it's still kind of on the
old bulls will be kind of grandfathered in. Like anyone who's like old YouTubers are just kind of grandfathered in, and then they're going to start having licenses to do anything. Same old shit.
Yeah, it's gonna become a victim of regulation like every other monetary instrument, pretty much.
You know how I know it was bad? Snoop Dogg, right?
Yep.
He actually DJ'd at a Bitcoin event.
Oh yeah.
And it was supporting Trump. And he was against Trump totally back then.
Yeah.
And he did it because he knew it's the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just knew.
I mean, Snoop Dogg's got a good team. His son is incredible at crypto. He made a fortune on Sandbox last cycle. Oh, my Snoop Dogg
Metaverse?
the Metaverse.
Oh yeah,
right?
with the whole fucking what is it?
the
the
VR
parties.
goggles and shit.
No,
and
what was what was the ETF? No, not, excuse me.
The metaverse coins or whatever.
No,
the sandbox.
No,
Sandbox.
no, the people were trading those little pictures of the monkeys.
NFTs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Those were. I know he made money on that too, bro. What NFT market dead, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Deader than dead. It's gone.
It's all so. Here's the funny thing about NFTs, right? NFTs are totally fucking cooked, but the technology is still going to be used eventually, right?
Okay.
But in terms of speculation on that shit, the thing with everybody in crypto was
Was
like
it down like 90%?
Yeah.
I remember last year I looked, it was 90%.
Not only that, but it's so illiquid. So you can't, it's hard. It's like real estate. It's very hard to buy and sell.
Oh,
So if you have a house
that defeats the purpose. Goddamn, yeah.
So what crypto people did this cycle said, well, that was all just a fucking joke anyways, right? Let's turn that energy to meme coins. And so meme coins this cycle have been where all the money flow that was going to go to NFTs in crypto is going into meme coins now.
Yeah.
So it's short-term trading, but the difference is, hey, you can still have the LOL cat, meme, whatever. You don't own the JPEG, but you could speculate the shit out of this kind of bullshit thing.
And NFTs are just much more liquid. I mean, not NFTs. Meme coins are just much more liquid because they're all, they once you provide liquidity and the price goes up, it essentially buys back either Solana or Ethereum or whatever the main L1 token is. And then if you you just wake up and want to cash out, you can cash out. But it's super risky. But NFTs were also super risky as well. The only NFT that was able to actually survive was this guy bought the whole company and IP of Pudgy Penguins. And he then got a contact. No, I know it sounds so stupid. I know, yes, very stupid.
Pudgy Penguins are coming to fucking NASCAR, bro.
Yeah, because he was super smart. He was a business guy. He bought the whole IP for Pudgy Penguins. Then he made a deal with Walmart to make plushies and shit, just kind of like Labubu's before Labubu.
Yeah, that's funny, bro.
And
that's money right there.
And all the crypto people were like, "Oh shit, a crypto!" Because no, like Walmart, Target, nobody especially back then, no one fucked with us, right? So they started selling like hotcakes, and now the coin's worth about $700 million. So maybe the only hope for NFTs is that if it's a popular one, they could airdrop. Hey, we're gonna make a Bored Ape Yacht Club meme token, meme coin. That's the only chance they have to make any money this cycle. If they don't do that, they're just, that's it. They're cooked. No one's buying them anymore. It's deader than dead. But the technology for like RWAs, like it's fractionalized real estate and stuff, that's all coming in like 4 years or 10 years from now, where like you'll be able to buy like a fraction of a real estate deal for like $1,000.
So somebody watching now, let's break it down in two parts.
Okay.
Guys that have money and little money.
Right.
Let's take out like 1 to 5K.
Okay.
And then 100K plus. What should I do? What should I buy right now?
So when you have money versus you have a little money, it's a very different game, right?
Of course.
So that's why you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, any of the main layer ones that we know are going to stick around. Yeah. That's where you can park money long term. Whether you have a lot of money or not that much money, the length of the cycle is basically the rest of this year. Next year is definitely going to be a hard time for crypto, but you'll be able to, like my channel is Cultivate Crypto, right? You'll still be able to cultivate crypto as the price goes down. But basically where we're at right now, if you have a lot of money, you're not going for returns versus if you have a little money, you're going for only returns. So if you have money, right, enough to buy one whole Bitcoin, at this point, you buy one whole Bitcoin, right? If you want to be a little bit more risk on, you buy the same, like that $100,000, you buy Solana. If you're a little bit more risk on than that, and you really understand where crypto is moving and everything, then you buy that 100,000 in Ethereum. Or if you want to be, risk free, you buy a third of Bitcoin, a third Solana, a third Ethereum.
Right. Yeah.
Regardless, the person with 100,000 is not going to go into like crazy amounts of other stuff. They could if they want to be really risky, but if they're less risk or if they're more risk averse, they're not going to do that. Versus somebody with $5,000. They're not going to be buying any Bitcoin because Bitcoin between now and the end of the year is going to do a 2x maximum.
Right. But long term, they should. Like one thing we're telling you, because we have guys that come in with millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and $1,000, right? So the guy that's making $1,000, we tell them the best opportunity for them is to wait until 2027 when it's like at the bottom. When
Q1.
Q1, right? So Bitcoin, depending on how high it goes, it's probably going to crash somewhere between 50,000 to 80,000. That'll be the big crash
of next year.
End of
quarter one next year. This year obviously was president got sworn in different, but you know, on the other non-election years,
it'd probably be about anywhere between September to November 2026.
Okay.
And the only little caveat to that is that if we really do start money printing and Trump's able to get Jerome Powell out of the Federal Reserve and they cut interest rates by 100 basis points, Trump really wants he doesn't want like zero interest rates, but he wants 200 basis points off the interest rate, so that way people instead of getting a 6 or 7% loan, they're getting 5 or 4, much more affordable, and that can give some